another complex combo with your girl, Sonia B. That's me. I know a lot of you are probably new to my channel, and if you are here today for the first time, welcome and thank you for watching my video. If you have some time, please click like, click subscribe. You can click subscribe down below and subscribe to my channel. I talk about some pretty interesting things every now and then. For those of you who are not new to my channel, thank you for coming back and checking out my video. I appreciate each and every one of you. Today, I wanted just to talk about something really quick. I was reading something and this saying caught my attention. And what I had read today in big, bold block letters was that adults need to learn how to end relationships. It's a life skill. Learn to leave. That resonated with me, not because of a relationship with another person per se, but I recently submitted my resignation to my job. And it's not the first time that I've ever resigned from a job, but I've noticed that each time that I've done this, it's gotten a lot easier. And I started to question why. Why is it getting easier to do this? You know, I firmly believe that, for me anyway, when I leave one thing to go to another, there's a reason. I don't do it haphazardly. I don't job hop just for the sake of job hopping. But every place that I've been and everything that I've done has built my life lessons, and I've learned from them. But in that, I've also learned that sometimes it's important to recognize when it's time to leave. And this resonates not just with work experiences, but it also does so for relationships. So I'm speaking to both areas. Relationships, meaning work relationships or personal relationships, you and another man or woman, or even friends for that matter. And I found the importance of learning to leave very instrumental in my life, because there are friendships that I've had to leave, there are relationships that I had to leave, and there are jobs that I've had to leave, but it wasn't always easy to do so because I felt like I was betraying the other person or party by leaving. Was I leaving too soon? Did I not, put forth all of my effort in this thing or person that I was leaving? But you become a prisoner of the very thing that you're afraid to leave. And if you remain a prisoner, you stay stuck in that relationship or job. It's just dead end, and somebody has to learn how to cut the cord, right? So that's one of the things that resonated when I saw this. And personally, when I started thinking about, as I resigned from my position, I had gotten to a point where I was just tired of what I was doing. I love what I do. It's always challenged me, but when things get to a point where they no longer challenge you, for me anyway, I get bored and I need to move on. And this work situation just happened to be the case. I find that if I stay in a job that no longer teaches me or challenges me or can help me grow professionally, I start contorting myself like a pretzel just to be accepted or listened to or heard when there are things that, in my job that I know. How many of you are doing that? You're contorting yourself like a pretzel just to be accepted and loved, whether it's in a relationship or a job or a friendship even. These are often signs that it's time for you to sever the ties. Learn how to say goodbye. I know I did a video probably a year ago about being okay saying goodbye, and it's still relevant today. But when I saw that saying, I was like, wow, I really need to go on and talk about it. So how many of you is this true for? If you have something going on in your life, whether it's a job, a friendship, or a relationship with your significant other, are you forcing yourself to stay in a situation that no longer serves you or the other person or the job? Are you finding yourself constantly butting heads with management? Have you learned all that you could possibly learn in that role? Is there no career path that will take you to another level that's going to challenge you? It might be time to think about saying goodbye. So nothing wrong with that. But back to my main point, that this being a life skill, and that adults need to learn to lead. Without this skill, you could very easily be stuck in a situation. You could be stuck in a bad job. You could be stuck with the wrong partner for too long. You put up with different boundary violations for far too long, and you start to compromise yourself. That is the core of all of this. If you do not learn to say goodbye and sever ties, you start to compromise yourself. And without this particular skill of learning to say goodbye or leaving, you start to betray, what you want or what you need in your life. In my case, I would betray myself if I did not seek to advance myself in my career field. There's nothing wrong with individuals who like to stay status quo. There's no need to push or pull or grow or stretch in any way. That's fine. I'm talking to those of you who desire to learn more, be more, contribute more in your jobs, in your relationships, in your friendships. Sometimes you have to say goodbye to learn that lesson. It's best for you, right? And if you betray yourself, there's no greater betrayal than that, to betray oneself. So when you get proficient in how to end things or how to sever ties, you then can learn to trust and rely on that instinct, that gut, that voice that tells you, hey, Sonia, in my case, you need to be doing something a little different. It's okay to learn that. And don't be passive about it. Once you'll test yourself, I'll think about it. I'll see how it goes this week, this month, this year, even. And even that may be too long in certain situations. But you'll test yourself and you'll finally say, okay, I got the answer that I need. And it's a skill that you have to practice on a regular basis. I'm not saying quit your job when you're unhappy, but test yourself. Are you the reason for your unhappiness? Have you grown as much as you possibly can in your role? Are you in a relationship where there's no reciprocity? You're giving more than you're receiving. The other person is giving more than you're giving. Because even on the other end of that, it's okay to sever ties if you know you're not giving what you're receiving in a relationship. So my advice, and I'm not an authority on this, just talking from life experience, do your research, learn the skill, make a list of the skills that you need to be able to sever ties and say goodbye and move on. Trust me, this skill will save you. If you enjoyed this video today, please click like, share it, subscribe to my channel, as I mentioned before. Also, leave comments below. I like to hear what other people are thinking. What'd you think about this video? Have you learned the art of severing ties or learning to say goodbye to things, people, and situations? If not, what do you think you need to do to move forward, to learn that skill? Good questions. Would like to know your answers. Until next time, it's your girl.